What is going on, guys? I am SceptileMC, or George, the coach of your San Francisco Arcaniners, here to bring you my GBA Season 7 Week 4 Team Builder or Prep video, whatever you want to call it, against the Free State Torracats or Duncan Knee Deep. His team is the Weavile, Alolan Marowak, Landorus Incarnate without the Sheer Force, Keldeo, Celebi, Mandibuzz, the Metagross, the Gramble, the Alolan Ninetales, the Torkoal, and the Venusaur. What I think he's going to bring against me 100% is the Weavile, just because of how powerful it is. Keldeo, I think, would come. The Celebi would come. Landorus Incarnate, probably. Marowak is iffy, just because I have the likes of the Garchomp and the Suicune, and the Drapion as well. Mandibuzz, I think, will come. And I can see Venusaur coming potentially, only if the Celebi doesn't come. So yeah, that's what I think he's gonna bring. So let me get right on into my team. So we're starting off with Suicune, the Wet Doge. I've brought offensive Suicune, I think 3 weeks in a row now, and I don't like think back to it and think, wow, that was probably a bad idea. No, it was a great idea to bring two offensive Suicune, because offensive Suicune is so good. So with the Surf, the Signal Beam, and the Extra Sensory, I actually hit almost everything on this team for super effective damage. I think I actually might, except for the Mandibuzz and the Metagross and the Gramble, I pretty much hit everything for super effective, and the Ninetales, but those things cannot beat a bulky, Calm Mind like Suicune on their own. So this thing is just, I send it in, I Calm Mind, and I just start hitting things for a lot of damage. I can 2-KO the Celebi, 2-KO the Weavile after +1, Alolan Marowak dies after +1, the Landorus dies after +1, the Keldeo is 2-KO by Extra Sensory after +1, but it can't do anything back to me because of my spread. I have enough speed to outspeed a tiny bit invested Celebi, so if you want to try to speed creep a bulky Mew, he could run maybe 12 EVs and I'd still outspeed him then. Can outspeed certain variants of Venusaur. Can outspeed max speed Marowak, I believe. Yeah, so this is this Pokemon. Next up, we got Samahata right here with the Yachi Berry and the Rough Skin, the Swords Dance, the Stealth Rocks, the Earthquake, and the Stone Edge. I don't need Dragon Claw in this game. I can just run the Swords Dance, get up my rocks, go for Swords Dance, and then Earthquake and Stone Edge his entire team. If he wants to bring in the Celebi, even after +2 Swords Dance, +2 Stone Edge is going to 2-KO, just like the Dragon Claw would, so I just have to make sure I hit 2 of them. Now I do have the Yachi Berry. Now the reason I have the Yachi Berry is pretty self-explanatory. If the Weavile comes in and wants to go for an Ice Shard or an Ice Will Crash, I can actually take the hit with the Yachi Berry. And yeah, plus I have another countermeasure for how my Garchomp is going to sweep in the late game, and you guys will see that once we get to the Mew set, which I put at the back for a very, very particular reason. Next up, we got Choice Scarf Togekiss over here with the Air Slash, the Dazzling Gleam, the Fire Blast, and the Shadow Ball. So I have the Air Slash, obviously, to flinch things. It is a 60% chance to flinch. I believe it's 60, right? Yes, it is. So it's a 60% a chance to flinch, so it's hacks if I don't actually get the flinch. Even though it's hacks if you do get the flinch, it's just hacks in general for everyone. Everyone's mad after I use Air Slash with Serene Grace. The Dazzling Gleam hits the Weavile for super effective, the Keldeo for super effective, the Mandibuzz for super effective. The Fire Blast mainly for the Venusaur, and the Metagross as well. So if I want to try to predict the switch, I can. It also hits the Weavile and the Celebi for super effective, so that could be more. Sorry about that. I'm in a house that I don't live in right now, actually, and people are talking upstairs, so I just thought I'd pause until they stop. But the Fire Blast actually can be used as just alright, all he has left is the Celebi, the Weavile, the Landorus, and the Metagross, which could Fire Blast. So, and then the Shadow Ball kind of does the same thing as Fire Blast. It hits the Celebi and the Metagross for super effective, and the Alolan Marowak. So if I don't want to go for the Fire Blast, I can just go for that instead to get a huge amount of damage on the Marowak. And yeah, I have enough speed to outspeed max speed Weavile. So yeah, and Togekiss is unusually strong. I completely forget where I was in my talking there, because I just have to pause it for a second time now. I have enough speed to outspeed max speed Weavile, and we pretty much just take it out with Dazzling Gleam after a tiny bit of prior damage, I believe. Next up, we got Light Doge, which is my Raikou right here with the Sugar Berry. We got the Calm Mind, the Shadow Ball, the T-Bolt, and the HP Ice. Calm Mind Raikou, as soon as I get up a Calm Mind, I pretty much OHKO everything, barring the AV Metagross could live. Maybe Specially Defensive Celebi can survive a Shadow Ball. Keldeo dies, Landorus dies, Alolan Marowak I'm pretty sure dies. Weavile can probably survive a T-Bolt, but I should have rocks at that point. And yeah, I don't outspeed the Weavile, obviously, but I do have enough speed to outspeed the Keldeo, and the rest I just put into HP. So the only thing he has to outspeed this is actually the Weavile, and anything else, well, if it's just not Choice Scarf, we kill everything just with this Pokemon. But you guys are probably seeing a common trend, just like Weavile can actually do a lot to my team, just because it has the Ice Shard for this. Icicle Crash will still do a shit ton of damage to this. Wet Doge, it's not like fully invested into defense, so it can't really take a lot of knockoffs, but this is where these two Pokemon come in. So we got Proper Usage and Captain right here. So let's start off with Proper Usage. Max HP, max defense on the Drapion. Of course, his name is Proper Usage. We all know why. What I am referring to with that, we got the Rocky Helmet, the Battle Armor, so he can't get crit. The knockoff, the Poison Jab, the Toxic Spikes, and the Taunt. So the point of Taunt is so that if the Mandibuss comes in on like a Poison Jab or knockoff or something, I could possibly get the Poison and then taunt him so he can't go for a Roost. I have the Toxic Spikes, so if he goes into Mandibuss, I can Toxic Spikes. He can't defog because I have Taunt. The Taunt can also help me against, I don't know, like against like rocks on the Torkoal maybe. Mainly for the Mandibuss I have Taunt, to be honest. It's mainly for the Mandibuss. Yeah, I don't really have it for anything else. The Poison Jab and the Knockoff are the only two coverage moves I need in this game, in my opinion. I don't think anything on his team actually can take either of them too well, so that is that. And this is my designated switch into the Weavile almost every single time. If he goes for knockoff, he'll take the Rocky Helmet. If he doesn't, then Icicle Crash will only do about 35% to me, which is pretty good damage considering at that point he will just go. I'm really thinking he'll bring Mandibuss. I'm almost pretty confident about that. And then I just go for a T-Spikes and a Taunt. So that is that. And then the final Pokemon is, and everyone's just looking and going, George, what in the fuck is this set? You bring a Swords Dance Mew last week, and then you're going to no attacking, specially defensive Mew with screens and bulk up and baton pass. And I just look at you and I go, yes, sir. Let me explain why I'm bringing this set. So, Reflect and Light Screen. Reflect helps me with every single one of my setup sweepers. I have 3 on this team against the Weavile. Also, it helps me live an Ice Shard off of the Togekiss. I have the Light Screen, obviously for the likes of like the Landorus if it's special, the Keldeo, the Celebi, and of course the Venusaur and the Ninetales as well, although I don't think he'll bring the Ninetales. The Bulk Up and the Baton Pass. So the Reflect isn't going to last forever, and I know that. So I do have the Bulk Up and the Baton Pass just so I can send a Bulk Up into the likes of my Garchomp. I could send it into Drapion, and those two get their nice defense boost and their nice attack boost. However, I can also Baton Pass it into the likes of my Togekiss, my Raikou, and my Suicune. And the reason why is the Suicune. Have you guys ever tried to fight a Suicune that has +1 defense and +1 special attack and +1 special defense, and that has like a little bit of speed investment? You guys know how hard that is to beat a +1 Suicune? It's impossible. It's literally impossible. The only Pokemon that outspeeds my Raikou is going to be the Weavile if he doesn't have a Choice Scarfer. So if I go for Calm Mind and I have already a +1 defense, I can take the knockoff. If I pass it to Togekiss and he has, let's say, I don't know, Choice Scarf Landorus Eye, and he goes for Stone Edge, I can take the Stone Edge. If he goes into Weavile and he goes for Ice Shard, Ice Shard's going to be doing like maybe 40% to me. And that's if I don't have up the Reflect. So if I have the Bulk Up and the Reflect, and I start going for Calm Mind with Suicune and Raikou, and I have my Togekiss in, it's just not going to look good for him. Not going to look good for him at all. And the Reflect and the Bulk Up can also really help my Garchomp survive an Icicle Crash off of Weavile, considering it outspeeds everything except for the Keldeo other than that. So yeah, guys, that is going to be my team builder for the video for the battle this week. If you did enjoy, I'd really appreciate you to comment, like, rate, or subscribe. I'm SceptileMC or George, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with the battle. Peace!